Here are moments when life takes us down roads cloaked in confusion, times when you lose what you thought you needed, when crisis knocks the breath out of you, or when it feels like the ground itself is crumbling beneath your feet. But have you ever wondered if these struggles hold a secret meaning? That perhaps every loss, mistake, and unexpected twist is woven into a design far greater than what your eyes can see. In the teachings of Buddhism, there is no such thing as randomness. Every moment, every encounter, every heartbreak is a teacher guiding you closer to wisdom. Each experience carves you into the person you are meant to become. In this journey together, we will uncover how to place your trust in life's silent intelligence, how to surrender to what is happening without resistance, and how to transform each challenge into a doorway to peace. So if you've ever whispered to yourself in the dark, "Why is this happening to me?" stay with me until the end. What you discover here may forever shift the way you walk your path. Lesson 1. The secret purpose. Hidden within pain. Pain is a language that life uses when words are not enough. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you believe in, pain will visit your doorstep. Loss, failure, disappointment, betrayal. These are threads woven into every human life. But what makes the difference is not the pain itself. It is what we choose to see within it. Buddhism teaches that pain is not a punishment handed down by some unseen force. It is not karma's revenge or a cruel twist of fate. Instead, pain is a disguised teacher. A strict teacher, yes, but one who carries profound lessons hidden beneath each ache and tear. Think about it. When everything in life is smooth, when comfort wraps us like a warm blanket, we rarely grow. Growth demands discomfort. Just like a seed must crack open to become a tree, or a caterpillar must dissolve into nothingness to become a butterfly, we too must allow parts of ourselves to break so that something new can emerge. Yet our first instinct when pain comes is to resist it. We want it to go away immediately. We beg life to restore what we lost, to reverse the hurt, to erase the memory of it. But what if, in doing so, we are denying ourselves the very transformation we seek? The Buddha said that suffering is inevitable, but unnecessary suffering is optional. What does this mean? It means that pain will come as a part of life's flow. But when we cling to it, identify with it, and build stories around it, we turn that temporary pain into a lifelong prison. The key lies in how we respond. There is a beautiful story often told by Buddhist teachers. A young disciple came to his master, tears streaming down his face. "Why is life so unfair to me?" he asked. "Why do I always suffer while others seem so happy?" The master listened silently, then asked the disciple to fetch a handful of salt. When he returned, the master told him to put all the salt into a small glass of water and drink it. The disciple took a sip and immediately spat it out. "It's too bitter," he said. Then the master took him to a vast, peaceful lake. "Now throw the same handful of salt into this lake," he instructed. The disciple obeyed. "Now drink from the lake," the master said. The disciple scooped up the water and drank. This time he smiled. The water tasted pure and refreshing. The master looked at him and said, "Pain is like this handful of salt. The bitterness does not change. What changes is where you place it. If you want your pain to taste less bitter, expand your sense of self. Become the lake." This simple teaching carries a wisdom that can transform your life. When we focus only on the pain, when we hold it tightly within our small sense of self, it fills us completely, leaving no space for peace. But when we widen our perspective, when we see that our life is much larger than any single problem, the pain becomes diluted within our vastness. Imagine for a moment, what if every difficulty you face is not here to break you, but to awaken you? What if every heartbreak is designed to soften your ego and open your heart? What if every failure is redirecting you to something more aligned with your soul's true calling? So many people spend their lives asking, "Why is this happening to me?" But Buddhism invites a different question. What is this trying to teach me? Take the story of Kisa Gotami, a woman who lost her only child and was inconsolable in her grief. She went to the Buddha, begging him to bring her son back to life. The Buddha told her to find a single mustard seed from a house that had never known death, and he would grant her wish. She searched all over the village, but every home had faced loss. In her search, she realized that death is a part of life's nature, not a punishment for her. Through her pain, she awakened to the truth of impermanence and found peace. Likewise, losing a job might force you to discover a path that brings true meaning. The end of a relationship might teach you the value of loving yourself unconditionally. A serious illness might awaken you to the beauty of each breath, each sunrise, each small moment you once overlooked. Buddhist philosophy teaches us that pain is a doorway to transformation. It is not something to be chased, but when it arrives, it is not here to destroy you. It is here to dissolve parts of your ignorance, ego, and illusions, revealing the quiet strength that has always lived within you. The next time you find yourself standing in the middle of a storm, instead of asking life to take it away, try asking, "What is this storm revealing about me? What parts of me need healing? How can I use this to grow wiser, stronger, and more compassionate?" Pain is not your enemy. Pain is a chiseling force, carving away what is false so that your truest self can stand revealed. When we embrace its lessons, suffering transforms from a prison into a temple, a place where we awaken to the timeless truth of who we really are. In the end, every pain is a step, and every step, no matter how difficult, leads you closer to your own awakening. Lesson 2. Chaos, the silent architect of transformation. Comfort is a seductive state. It wraps around us like a warm blanket, giving us the illusion of safety and control. When everything flows as planned, when life feels predictable and easy, we often sink into that comfort, unaware that it quietly breeds stagnation. We stop questioning, stop growing, and settle for a version of ourselves that is far smaller than what we are meant to become. Yet Buddhism teaches that chaos is not an enemy to be feared. Chaos is life's secret architect, designing the bridges that carry us from who we are to who we are meant to be. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that the most profound changes in your life rarely began with peace and comfort? True transformation often arises from the cracks in our reality, the moments when life shakes us awake. A sudden loss, a health crisis, the collapse of something you thought was permanent. These moments feel like the end, but in truth, they are a beginning. Without chaos, transformation remains a theory. It is only when life tears away what we cling to that we are forced to awaken. Crises become the chisels that sculpt our character, revealing strengths we never knew existed. Imagine for a moment a seed lying on the forest floor. If it remains on the surface, bathed in sunlight and fresh air, it will never sprout. For the seed to grow, it must be buried in darkness. It must endure the pressure of the earth pressing down upon it. It must crack open from within and push against the weight of soil to reach the light. Only through this struggle does life emerge. We are no different. Without descending into the dark soil of uncertainty, without being pushed beyond what is familiar, we cannot awaken our hidden potential. There is an ancient Buddhist story that beautifully illustrates this truth. A young disciple once asked his master, "Why must life be so difficult? Why must there be so much struggle?" In silence, the master led him deep into the forest. They came upon a butterfly struggling to break free from its cocoon, its wings trembling with effort. The disciple, filled with compassion, reached out and carefully tore the cocoon open to help the butterfly escape. But as the butterfly emerged, the disciple noticed something tragic. Its wings were weak and crumpled. Unable to fly, it fell to the ground. The master turned to him and said, "Do you see? The struggle to break free from the cocoon is what strengthens its wings. Without that struggle, the butterfly can never soar." In our lives, chaos serves this same purpose. It forces us to push against the boundaries we have set for ourselves. It demands that we find courage in fear, faith in uncertainty, and wisdom in confusion. Every crisis forces us to adapt, to innovate, to let go of the old versions of ourselves that no longer serve our growth. If you reflect upon your past, you will see this truth clearly. Was it not heartbreak that taught you the depth of your capacity to love? Was it not failure that revealed your resilience and creativity? Was it not loss that taught you the value of what truly matters? Buddhism does not teach us to seek chaos, nor does it ask us to enjoy suffering. Rather, it invites us to see chaos as an opportunity to dissolve the illusions we hold about ourselves and life. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What transformation is being born through this chaos?" When you shift your perspective, the same crisis that once felt like a punishment becomes a portal to awakening. Chaos is not a curse upon your life. It is life's way of rearranging your reality so that you can become more aligned with your truest nature. It shakes the foundations of who you think you are, so that you can discover who you really are. When we stop resisting chaos and instead lean into its teachings, we uncover a strength that lies beyond understanding. We realize that life was never meant to remain predictable. It is a living, breathing flow of change, growth, and awakening. Just as the butterfly must struggle to gain its wings, so too must we embrace the resistance life offers. For within each moment of chaos lies a silent blessing, the gift of becoming. If you trust this process, if you surrender to life's hidden intelligence, you will find that after each storm, a new version of yourself emerges, stronger, wiser, and free to fly. Lesson 3. Dharma, trusting life's invisible order. There are times when life feels chaotic and out of control. Plans unravel, relationships end, opportunities vanish, and suddenly, everything you thought was certain dissolves into confusion. In these moments, we wonder if we've strayed from our path. We ask, "What am I doing wrong? Why is everything falling apart?" But Buddhism offers a different perspective, a truth that brings peace when the world feels unstable. It teaches us that nothing in this universe happens by chance. Beneath the apparent randomness lies a silent intelligence, an invisible order guiding everything towards its natural unfolding. This is Dharma. Dharma is not just a spiritual law, it is the underlying harmony and order of life itself. It is the way the universe keeps its balance, the way the seasons change at precisely the right moment, the way rivers carve their paths without effort, the way flowers bloom when the time is right, never too early, never too late. In nature, everything follows this perfect rhythm. Trees don't force themselves to grow, the moon doesn't struggle to wax and wane, the ocean waves do not fight their rising and falling. But human beings, with our restless minds, resist this flow. We cling to expectations, demand certainty, and create suffering when life moves differently than we desire. There is an old Buddhist story of a man caught in a fierce storm at sea. He thrashed and struggled against the crashing waves, desperately trying to keep his head above water. But the harder he fought, the more he sank. Exhausted and defeated, he finally surrendered. He stopped resisting and allowed himself to float. In that moment of surrender, the current gently carried him back to shore. This is how Dharma works. When we stop resisting life, we are carried by its silent wisdom to where we need to be. This doesn't mean we become passive or resign ourselves to fate. Dharma invites us to act with awareness, to make choices that align with our truest nature. But it also asks us to trust that there is a purpose woven into every experience, even those that break our hearts. Often, suffering arises when we drift away from this natural alignment. Life sends us signs, small nudges at first, and if we ignore them, stronger obstacles appear to realign us with who we truly are. That painful ending, that sudden rejection, that unexpected failure, they are not punishments, they are redirections. Buddhism teaches that when something leaves our life, it's because it no longer serves our growth. When a door closes, it's because another is meant to open. When something is delayed, it's because the time is not yet right. Nothing is wasted in Dharma's design. There is another story about a king who demanded his advisors explain why life was so unpredictable. The first said it was all luck. The second said it was the result of past decisions. But the third advisor said nothing. Instead, he took the king to a river and asked him to stop the flow with his hands. The king tried, but the water kept moving around him. The advisor said, "Life is like this river. You can try to control it, but in the end, it will flow as it must. The only choice you have is to learn to move with it." Our suffering often comes from the illusion of control. We plan every detail, believing that if we do everything perfectly, life will obey our script. But life has never worked this way. It moves according to its own rhythm, and the tighter we cling to our need for control, the more suffering we create. Letting go of control does not mean giving up. It means learning to act without attachment to the outcome. In Buddhism, this is called wu-wei, effortless action. It does not mean doing nothing. It means acting in harmony with the natural flow, without forcing, without resistance. Imagine a bamboo tree. It bends in the wind without breaking. It moves with life's forces rather than against them. This is the power of non-resistance, strength through surrender. When we trust Dharma, we begin to see that life unfolds exactly as it should. What feels like a delay today may be a preparation for something far greater tomorrow. What looks like a loss may later reveal itself as a hidden blessing. That painful breakup may awaken you to a deeper self-love. That lost job may guide you to a path more aligned with your soul's calling. That failure may reveal inner strengths you never knew you possessed. If you doubt this, reflect on your past. How many times did life not go as planned, only to bring you to something better? How many times did the detours reveal the most beautiful views? When we understand Dharma, we stop seeing difficulties as punishments. We start seeing them as teachers. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me? What truth is life revealing through this experience?" We are each born with a unique Dharma, a path only we can walk. Comparing it to others only leads to confusion and suffering. Just as a rose cannot bloom like a lotus, and the sun cannot shine like the moon, you are not meant to follow anyone else's journey. Your life unfolds in its own perfect time and rhythm. The mind craves guarantees and certainty, but life offers something greater, the opportunity to grow beyond what you thought possible. When you trust the invisible order, when you surrender your illusion of control, you find peace even in chaos, clarity even in uncertainty. Life is not something to control, it is something to be lived fully, moment by moment, in trust and openness. When you let go of your grip, you discover a freedom far deeper than certainty, the freedom to flow with life and awaken to the purpose that has always been guiding you from within. Lesson 4. The illusion of control, finding freedom in surrender. From the time we are young, we are taught to believe that control is the key to a successful life. We are told that if we work hard enough, plan carefully, and make all the right choices, life will unfold exactly as we want it to. We chase certainty as if it were a guarantee for happiness. But life, in its quiet wisdom, often shows us otherwise. No matter how detailed our plans, how disciplined our efforts, or how noble our intentions, there will always be moments when everything unravels. A relationship we thought was unbreakable suddenly ends. A job we depended on vanishes without warning. Dreams we built for years crumble in a single moment. And when this happens, we panic. We feel anxious, afraid, and lost. We whisper to ourselves, "What did I do wrong? Why is life betraying me when I tried so hard to do everything right?" Buddhism offers a powerful insight into these moments. Control is an illusion. Life has never moved according to our scripts. It dances to its own rhythm, unpredictable, mysterious, beyond our full understanding. The mind craves guarantees, but life offers none. And it is this craving for certainty that creates our deepest suffering. There is a story of a king who could not understand why life was so unpredictable. Seeking answers, he asked his 3 wisest advisors. The first said it was luck. The second said it was the result of his past actions. But the third advisor simply smiled and led the king to a river. "Try to stop the flow of water with your hands," he said. The king cupped his palms against the current, but no matter what he did, the river continued flowing around him. The advisor then spoke softly. "Life is like this river. You can try to control it, but it will always flow where it needs to go. Your choice is not to control it, but to learn how to move with it." We cling to how we think life should be. We set rigid expectations, telling ourselves, "I will only be happy if I achieve this goal, if this relationship lasts forever, if nothing changes." But life does not work that way. It never has. And the tighter we hold on, the more we suffer when things inevitably shift. Letting go of control does not mean giving up. It does not mean passivity or carelessness. In Buddhism, there is a practice called Wu Wei, which means effortless action or non-doing. This is not about doing nothing, but about acting in harmony with the natural flow of life. It is like sailing a boat. You cannot command the wind, but you can adjust your sails to travel with it. Imagine yourself in a small boat upon the vast ocean. If you try to control the waves, you will exhaust yourself and sink. But if you learn to move with them, to flow and adapt, you discover that even the roughest seas can be navigated with grace. Life is much the same. When we accept that we cannot control the ocean, we begin to find peace within its depths. There is another story of a monk who lived at the top of a mountain. One day, a villager climbed to warn him. "A great storm is coming. You must leave before it's too late." The monk smiled and replied, "If the storm comes, I will welcome it." The villager was stunned. "But you might die," he exclaimed. The monk answered calmly, "If I die, I accept death. If I live, I accept life. Whatever comes, I will accept it." This is not the acceptance of defeat. It is the acceptance of wisdom. It is understanding that while we can make choices and take action, we cannot force life to bend to our will. We do what we can, but we release our grip on the outcome. Think of your own life. How many times has something that seemed like a disaster revealed itself as a hidden gift? A job loss that led you to a more meaningful path? A heartbreak that taught you how to love yourself? A failure that uncovered your hidden strengths? Uncertainty is not your enemy. It is life's way of keeping you open, humble, and aware of the infinite possibilities beyond your imagination. Buddhism teaches that peace does not come from eliminating uncertainty, but from learning to live with it gracefully. When we release our fear of the unknown, we awaken to a freedom we never thought possible. We stop wasting energy trying to manipulate every detail and start living fully in the present moment. We begin to trust that whatever comes our way, we will find the strength and wisdom to navigate it. Ask yourself today, how many times has the unexpected turned out to be a blessing? Do I really need every answer right now? Am I missing the beauty of this moment because I am too worried about a future that hasn't happened yet? Life is not something to control. It is something to be lived, breath by breath, choice by choice, with trust and openness. When you stop fighting the flow, you find a calmness and clarity that nothing outside of you can give. Peace is not about knowing what tomorrow holds. Peace is knowing that whatever it holds, you will be ready. Lesson 5. The Path to Awakening. Seeing life as your silent teacher. Life often feels like a puzzle missing its last piece. Some days everything flows smoothly, while other days life feels heavy, confusing, or painfully overwhelming. We find ourselves wondering why things happen the way they do. Why do we lose what we cherish? Why do plans fall apart when we've done everything right? Why does suffering seem unavoidable? Buddhism gives us a simple yet profound truth. Every event in life is part of our awakening. Enlightenment isn't something we find outside ourselves, hidden in distant monasteries or remote mountain caves. It's not a prize reserved only for saints or sages. Enlightenment is already within us, patiently waiting to be discovered. But how do we awaken to it? Through life itself. Every moment, every joy, every sorrow, every confusion acts as a quiet teacher guiding us back to ourselves. The tough moments aren't obstacles to awakening, they are the path that leads us there. Think about the times you grew the most as a person. Were they the days when everything was easy? When the world bent to your will and your heart felt no pain? Or were they the days when life pushed you to your limits, when grief carved rivers through your soul, when failure shattered your illusions, when fear forced you to confront your deepest insecurities? We don't grow when we're comfortable. We grow when life challenges us beyond what we thought we could bear. Just as the lotus must break through thick mud to bloom above the water's surface, so must we endure life's pressures to discover our true nature. There's an old Buddhist saying, "Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional." We can't avoid pain, it's part of being alive. But suffering comes from resisting pain, refusing to accept what is, and insisting life should follow our expectations. Awakening happens when we change our perspective. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we begin asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" In that moment, we shift from being victims of circumstance to becoming students of life. We realize that every experience, no matter how painful, carries a lesson, a small light guiding us toward understanding. Imagine life as a vast river carrying us forward. The calm stretches are peaceful, soothing us into tranquility. But it's the rapids, sudden drops and hidden rocks that teach us how to steer, how to strengthen our grip, and how to trust the journey, even when we can't see what lies ahead. In Buddhism, enlightenment isn't a final destination. It's not a place we reach where all problems vanish and life becomes perfect. Enlightenment is a deep awareness, a clear seeing that rises within us when we begin to live each moment with openness and acceptance. It's the understanding that nothing is ever wasted. Every person you meet, every heartbreak you face, every challenge you overcome shapes you into the person you're meant to become. Even mistakes are sacred. They humble us, teach us compassion, and remind us that we are always learning. If life feels confusing or painful right now, remember this. The universe isn't punishing you. you're not being abandoned. You're being guided, shaped, and refined. Like gold placed in the hottest fire, your soul is being purified to reveal its truest shine. Ask yourself today, what is life trying to teach me through this situation? How can I grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate through this challenge? What illusions about myself or life is this experience asking me to release? When you begin to see life this way, even the darkest days become meaningful. You realize that awakening isn't found by avoiding challenges, but by walking through them with an open heart. There's a Zen saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Life doesn't change after awakening. What changes is how we see it. The same ordinary moments become sacred. The same painful events become stepping stones. And the same unanswered questions become opportunities for trust. So, if life feels heavy today, if you're facing something you don't understand, trust that this too is part of your journey. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. Every experience is shaping you into the highest version of yourself, the version that sees life not as an enemy to conquer, but as a teacher to embrace. Awakening isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been, beneath the fears, doubts, and illusions. As you reach the end of this journey today, remember, life was never meant to be perfectly understood. It was meant to be lived, moment by moment, with an open heart. Every joy you experience, every sorrow you face, every uncertainty you navigate is guiding you back to yourself. You don't need to control every detail of your life to find peace. You don't need all the answers to feel calm. Feel the silent rhythm of life flowing through you. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. Nothing is missing from this moment. If this video brought you peace, clarity, or strength today, I invite you to join our community on this path of awakening. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Together, we will continue exploring the timeless wisdom of Buddhism to transform how we live, love, and grow. And before you leave, share in the comments, what is life teaching you right now? Your reflections might become the light someone else needs on their journey today. Thank you for walking this path with me. Until next time, may you flow with life's silent wisdom. May your heart remain open, and may you always remember everything you seek is already within you.